Hi, I'm Eddie.
And I'm Hollie. We own and run a bar in Tenerife called the Sixties Bar, and twice a week we host our own pub quiz nights.
After listening to many other quiz podcasts, we've realised that it's something that people rather like. Here we go with the Pub Quiz Podcast.
So we have 15 questions of general knowledge, 3 short specialist rounds, and then we'll give you all the answers.
So whether you're at home with family or out in the car on your daily commute, you can choose how you keep score. So here we go with the Pub Quiz Podcast. So welcome to episode 8 of the Pub Quiz Podcast. As usual, 15 general knowledge questions.
And 3 specialist rounds.
And they are great specialist rounds this week. Now listen, don't forget, anytime you wish to pause the podcast, feel free to do so to give yourself a little bit more thinking time. And with that, let's get on with our first 15 questions.
We've got a quick shout out first.
Oh. Who's
yes,
that?
We've got to shout out to Kerry and Chris, who have been listening in Towcester or
Toaster.
Toaster.
I know you spell it Toaster.
I never know how to pronounce it. So we'll say Toaster.
Yeah.
Kerry and Chris, hi. Glad you're enjoying the podcast. Hope you do better this week.
So let's crack on. Hollie, question number 1.
Here we go then. Question number 1 of your 15 general knowledge questions goes like this. What is the occupation of Mario and Luigi?
That's a good question. Question number 1. What is the occupation of Mario and Luigi?
Mario. Sorry. Number 2. What year was Heinz established?
Question number 2. What year was Heinz established?
Question number 3. Stefani Germanotta is better known as who?
Question number 3. Stephanie Germanotta is better known as who?
Question number 4. Which bird can fly backwards?
Number 4. Which bird can fly backwards?
And question number 5. What year did Rihanna achieve global success with the mega hit Umbrella? We all know the song, but what year?
Question number 5. What year did Rihanna achieve global success with the mega hit Umbrella?
Question number 6. Sofia is the capital of which country?
Number 6. Sofia is the capital of which country?
Number 7. What is David Schwimmer's character in Friends called?
Question number 7. What is David Schwimmer's character in Friends called?
And question number 8. In Only Fools and Horses, by what name did Trigger always call Rodney?
Question number 8. In Only Fools and Horses, by what name did Trigger always call Rodney?
Question number 9. Vanilla comes from what flowers?
Number 9. Vanilla comes from which flowers?
And question number 10. Which country invented gin?
Number 10. Which country invented gin?
Number 11. What university did Stephen Hawking go to?
Number 11. What university did Stephen Hawking go to?
And question number 12. Got multiple choice on this one. What year was Marmite invented? Was it 1899, 1902 or 1929?
Great question. Number 12. What year was Marmite invented? Was it 1899, 1902 or 1929?
You either love it or you hate it. Do you like it?
Yeah, I kind of do.
No, I don't like it. Don't do Marmite. Right, where are we? Question number 13. What month was Prince George born?
Number 13. In what month was Prince George born?
And number 14. How many elements are there in the periodic table?
Question number 14. How many elements are there in the periodic table?
And number 15, your final question on today's general knowledge. How old do you have to be to stand for US President?
Number 15. How old do you have to be to stand for US President? That's your 15 general knowledge questions for this week. Let's quickly move on. And the first of your specialist rounds this week are real names from famous female vocalists of the 1960s. So we're going to give you the real name. You have to tell us the name that they became more famous under. So we're starting with number 1. What was the stage name of Mary Visconti? Number 1. What was the stage name of Mary Visconti? Question number 2. Mary Isabel Catherine Bernadette O'Brien. That is a mouthful. Who did she become more famous as? Her real name was Mary Isabel Catherine Bernadette O'Brien. How would you better know this person? Question number 3. The real name is Sandra Ann Goodrich. Under what name did she become a global star in the 60s? Her name is Sandra Ann Goodrich. How do you know her better? Question number 4. The real name is Sally Clark. How do you know her from the 1960s? Real name Sally Clark. Who do we know her better as? Question number 5. Eva Narcissus Boyd. I'll say that again. Eva Narcissus Boyd became a star under which name? Eva Narcissus Boyd. Tell us the name that you know her better as. And there's your first specialist round. Real names of famous female vocalists of the 1960s.
Hope you did okay with those. I'm going to give you a list of cocktail ingredients, and all you've got to do is tell me the name of the cocktail. It's as easy as that. So question number 1, the ingredients are as follows. You've got lime juice, you've got tequila, you've got triple sec, and you've got a salt-rimmed glass. What cocktail would you be making? So you've got lime juice, tequila and triple sec with a salt-rimmed glass. What cocktail would you be making? Question number 2, you've got a teaspoon of powdered sugar, you've got 2 ounces of bourbon whiskey, you've got 2 teaspoons of water, and you've got 4 mint leaves. What cocktail would that be? So number 2, 1 teaspoon of powdered sugar, 2 ounces of bourbon whiskey, 2 teaspoons of water, and 4 mint leaves. What would you end up with? Moving on then, question number 3, you've got vodka, Galliano and orange juice. What does that make? Question number 3, vodka, Galliano and orange juice. Okay then, number 4 is one of my favourites. It's made from Tia Maria, vodka and Coca-Cola. What would you be making? So question number 4, if you mixed Tia Maria with vodka and Coca-Cola, what would you be making? And finally, number 5. So you start with blue curacao. I never know how to pronounce this. Is it blue curacao or blue curacao? I'm not sure. Either way, you mix it with vodka and lemonade, and what do you get? So question number 5, blue curacao or blue curacao, whichever way you prefer, mixed with vodka and lemonade, what do you get? And that's your 5 questions on cocktail ingredients.
So here's your final specialist round for this week. And it's a very easy round. I just need you to tell me what company made these old classic cars? So I'm going to give you the model name. You need to tell me the company. So question 1. What company made the Interceptor? What company made the Interceptor? Number 2. Which company made the Popular? What company made the Popular? Number 3. Which company made the Minx and the Imp? What company made the Minx and the Imp? Number 4. Which company made the Maxi? M-A-X-I. Which company made the Maxi? And your last question for this week's episode, what company made the Rialto? What company made the car the Rialto? Hollie and I'll be back in a couple of moments with all of your answers, and don't forget, you can pause the podcast. So here are all your answers for episode 8, and we started with 15 general knowledge questions as we normally do, and question 1 was, what is the occupation of Mario and Luigi?
They are plumbers.
Go on to the accent.
Mario.
Great. Question number 2. What year was Heinz established?
Heinz was established in 1869.
Question number 3. Stephanie or Stefanie Germanotta is better known as who?
She is actually better known as the wonderful Lady Gaga.
And question number 4. Which bird can fly backwards?
And that bird is the hummingbird.
Question number 5. What year did Rihanna achieve global success with the mega hit Umbrella?
Ella, 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 Ella. That was 2007.
Question number 6. Sofia is the capital of which country?
Sofia is the capital of Bulgaria.
And question number 7. What is David Schwimmer's character in Friends called?
He is called Ross Geller.
Question number 8. In Only Fools and Horses, by what name did Trigger always call Rodney?
Trigger always called Rodney Dave.
Or Dave.
Or Dave.
Question number 9. Vanilla comes from which flowers?
Vanilla comes from the orchid.
And question number 10. Which country invented gin?
So the country that invented gin was Holland.
Number 11. What university did Stephen Hawkins go to?
Stephen Hawkins attended Cambridge University.
And number 12. What year was Marmite invented?
Whether you love it or you hate it, it was actually invented in 1902.
Question number 13. In what month was Prince George born?
Prince George was born in the month of July.
Number 14. How many elements are there in the periodic table?
Elements in the periodic table, there are 118.
And finally, for your general knowledge, how old do you have to be to stand for US President?
You have to be 35 years old. So, there you are. There's all your answers to the general knowledge round. We'll move on now to round number 2. And we were asking you to name the famous female vocalist of the 1960s. So, question number 1 was, can you tell us who Mary Visconti was better known as?
Those were the days, my friend. It was indeed Mary Hopkins.
No, Mary Hopkin.
Oh, Mary Hopkin.
Yes, there was no S on the end.
I gave her an extra S.
You did.
Mary Hopkin.
Mary Hopkin. Question number 2, Mary Isabel Catherine Bernadette O'Brien. Who was she better known as?
She was better known as Dusty Springfield. It must have been so much easier to sign autographs.
It must have been. Or Dusty Springboard, as we call her. Number 3, Sandra Ann Goodrich. Who was she more famous as?
She was the lady that never wore shoes on stage. She was the incredible Sandy Shaw.
Question number 4, Sally Clark. Who was she?
She was, in fact, Petula Clark.
And finally, number 5, Eva Narcissus Boyd. Who was she?
I struggle with this one. It's actually little Eva who did the locomotion.
So there you go. That's your 5 female vocalists of the 1960s. Moving on to round number 3.
And round number 3 was name the cocktails from the ingredients. Question 1, we asked you, what would happen if you mix lime juice, tequila, triple sec with a salt-rimmed glass? What would you get?
You would get a margarita.
Number 2, 1 teaspoon of powdered sugar, 2 ounces of bourbon whiskey, 2 teaspoons of water, and 4 mint leaves.
You would get a mint julep.
Question number 3.
You sounded like Yoda then.
Question number 3. Vodka, Galliano, and orange juice.
If you mixed all those together, that would give you a Harvey Wallbanger.
They're not that popular any longer, hence the fact that most pubs have got a huge, tall bottle of Galliano that never, ever gets used. Number 4. Tia Maria, vodka, and Coke.
So if you mixed all those together, you would end up with a Black Russian.
And finally, number 5. I know you can't say this. I know you've confused me on this one. Blue Curacao. I'm going to call it Curacao. Blue Curacao mixed with vodka and lemonade would give you...
That would give you a Blue Lagoon.
Brilliant. Finally, round number 4. We asked you who actually made these old cars. We gave you the model. You needed to give us the manufacturer. And the 5 cars that we asked you were these.
Okay, question number 1 was the Interceptor.
The Interceptor was actually made by a company called Jensen Interceptor, who were based in West Bromwich.
Yeah, I've never heard of them.
Yeah.
Yep. Question number 2. Who made the Popular?
That was, of course, Ford, the Ford Popular.
Number 3. The Minx and the Imp.
They were made by the Hillman Company, Hillman Minx, Hillman Imp.
Number 4. Who made the Maxi, the Maxi?
The Maxi was made by Austin. They also made the Allegro.
And finally, number 5, your last question on this episode. Who made the Rialto?
Now, I think this was the hardest of the 5 to identify because you just never saw them around. The Rialto was actually made by the Reliant Company.
Brilliant. So I've got to ask you a question, Ed. You are of a certain age.
Thank you.
Did you have any of those cars?
Yes, I had a couple of Maxis. I never had the Interceptor because that was kind of a high-end car. I've driven a Ford Popular, but I've never driven a Rialto.
Oh, there you go. So there's all your answers to all of your questions. We hope you've done well on episode 8 of the Pub Quiz podcast.
And don't forget, if you want to contact us at any time, you can do through our email address, which is
sixtiesbartenerife@gmail.com, and that's all letters, no numbers. We also have the Facebook group 60s Bar Tenerife, and you can get in touch with us there as well.
And don't forget to tell all of your friends about us so that we can grow the podcast. And also, wherever you go to listen to the podcast, don't forget to subscribe, rate us, and just leave us a general comment.
And then you'll never miss an episode.
Absolutely not. Until next week, I've been Eddie.
I've been Holly. Have a great week.
And thanks for joining us on the Pub Quiz podcast. So, we hope you've enjoyed this episode of the Pub Quiz podcast.
If you wish to get in touch with the show, we have a couple of ways in getting in touch. We have an email, 60sbartenerife@gmail.com. That's all letters, no numbers.
Or you can join us on Facebook. Our group there is 60s Bar Tenerife. As our podcast grows, we will obviously be adding more options for you to listen to the podcast and test your general knowledge.
Until next time,
I've been Eddie.
And I've been Holly. We hope you've enjoyed the Pub Quiz